Alright, stealth fans, time to put those brains to work. Imagine a game that looks like a blend of Commandos and Dishonored, feels as tense as Hitman's Best Escapes, and is so pretty you'll want to pause and screenshot every other cutscene. But here's the catch, it's also one of the most linear stealth games you'll play this year. Let's talk about Eriksholm, the Stolen Dream, a game that dares you to outsmart its puzzles, but never quite lets you off the leash. Welcome to Veteran Game. If you crave deep dives into games that everyone's talking about, hit that subscribe button and drop a like to keep the channel thriving. Now, let's sneak into the world of Eriksholm. So what's the setup? You're Hannah, a clever young girl in a rain-soaked Nordic-inspired city torn apart by poverty, police, and a mysterious plague called heartbreak. When the cops kidnap your brother shady business, right? Right? You're pulled into a story that's half Olive Over twist, half dystopian conspiracy. And soon enough, you'll be joined by two partners in crime. Alva, the rooftop rebel with a slingshot and a chip on her shoulder, and Sebastian, a gentle giant who can actually choke guards out and swim through the city's grimy waters. Eriksholm isn't your usual stealth sandbox. Forget experimenting your way through big open levels like in Shadow Tactics or Desperados. Here, every encounter is a tightly designed puzzle. Each chapter is like an hour-long diorama where you study patrol patterns, manage your little trio, and hunt for that single correct solution the devs dreamed up for you. Try to get creative. The game will smack you with an instant game over or force you back to a generous checkpoint. And honestly, that's both its superpower and its kryptonite. Let's get into the stealth. For the first chunk of the game, you're just Hannah, sneaking through alleys, hiding in shadows, firing sleep darts from your trusty blowpipe, and using your intimate knowledge of the neighborhood to outwit the city's increasingly hostile police force. You're the local, slipping through shortcuts and finding help from neighbors who'll turn a blind eye while you dash across their rooftops. It feels personal and grounded, community versus authority, told through gameplay as much as dialogue. Then, as the story unfolds, you get more characters and more skills. Alva can break lights and climb to new heights. Sebastian can take down the big boys and wade through rivers. Each new chapter adds a gameplay wrinkle. New guard types, new environmental hazards, trickier patrols. Some of the best moments come when all three protagonists work together in perfect harmony. A little like single-player co-op, where the solution is a chain of coordinated moves and distractions. But here's where it might lose you. Eriksholm wants you to play by its rules. It isn't looking for emergent chaos or outside-the-box thinking. Every guard, every light source, every crawl space and vent is there for a reason, and the game expects you to poke, prod, and observe until you figure out what the devs had in mind. Try anything clever that's not by the book, and you'll probably fail. This isn't a playground for improvisers, it's a puzzle box with a single solution. Now for some players that's catnip. If you love cracking open a smartly designed stealth sequence, learning every enemy's rhythm, and nailing that aha moment when the puzzle clicks, Eriksholm delivers. The checkpointing is mostly forgiving, so trial and error never gets too punishing. And the last third of the game, when you finally have access to all three characters and their movesets, is brilliant. That's when Eriksholm truly sings, demanding, layered, satisfying. But for others, you might find yourself wishing for a little more freedom, a little more room to improvise, to mess up and adapt on the fly. It's more Hitman Go than Hitman, Blood Money. There's no real leeway to take risks or go off script. And sometimes, especially in later levels, it can start to feel less like you're a master thief and more like you're solving a Rubik's Cube the way someone else wants. Let's talk vibes and presentation though, because Eriksholm is, without question, one of the best looking games in its genre. The visuals are lush and painterly, channeling a rainy pre-war Scandinavian city with whale-punk machinery, steam engines and grimy, lived-in architecture. Streets bustle, alleys twist, rooftops sprawl. The world feels real, not just set dressing, but a place with its own history, rumors and side stories. The cutscenes gorgeous. The facial mocap is genuinely next level for an indie game. Characters emote, grimace and react in ways that land, even when the story doesn't. The voice acting is top tier, especially among the main trio. and there's a ton of charm in the background chatter. Guards bicker, locals gossip, even a few soap opera-worthy love triangles play out in the margins if you're paying attention. The story. Here's where opinions split. The opening chapters, Hannah's desperate search for her brother, the looming threat of the plague, the simmering unrest, are strong, grounded, and emotional. As the game expands, adding more characters and shifting to a bigger good versus evil conspiracy, the narrative starts to lose its edge. The villain's motivations get murky, and the grand conspiracy plot sometimes feels more like set dressing than real stakes. But there's heart here, especially in the small stories and personal moments scattered through the city. Now for the stealth purists, know that Eriksholm is more puzzle game than tactical sim. It's not the next Dishonored or the Lost Shadow Tactics sequel, and that's okay because what it does very well. You'll get about 12 to 15 hours of playtime, depending on how much you explore and how quickly you crack the game's many tricky encounters. But don't expect to play with the game's full toolset for long. Most of the campaign is a slow burn, giving you new abilities and party members piece by piece. By the time you're finally juggling all three characters and feeling like a stealth mastermind, you're pretty close to the end credits. It's a bit of a tease, but at least the high points hit hard. So, is Eriksholm, the Stolen Dream, worth playing? If you love tightly designed stealth puzzles, beautiful worlds, and don't mind trading creative freedom for clever solutions, absolutely. It's not a revolution, but it's a damn good addition to the stealth genre. If you want more improvisation and chaos though, you might find it a little too tightly scripted for your taste. Let me know in the comments. Do you prefer your stealth games open-ended, or do you love a tough linear puzzle box? And what did you think of Eriksholm's world and story? Smash that like if you're a stealth head, and subscribe to Veteran Game for more no BS reviews and breakdowns of gaming's latest and greatest. Until next time, stay sneaky and don't let the patrols catch you.